The harmattan wind blew softly through the tall palm trees of Umuokpara, a quiet village in eastern Nigeria. The village was peaceful, surrounded by red earth roads, mud houses with zinc roofs, and farms that stretched far into the horizon. In that village lived a young woman named Ngozi. Ngozi was known throughout Umuokpara for two things: her beauty and her kindness. She had smooth, dark skin that shone like polished ebony, bright, curious eyes, and a gentle smile that could calm even the angriest person. But what made people respect her most was her character. She was humble, hardworking, and respectful to elders. Ngozi lived with her parents, Nwafo Keke and Ugochi Nwafo, and her two younger brothers, Chibuzo and Obina. Every morning before the cock crowed, Ngozi would wake up, sweep the compound, fetch water from the stream, and help her mother prepare food before heading to the farm. Her mother often said proudly to neighbors, "My daughter Ngozi is not just beautiful, she has the heart of a queen." But despite all the praises, Ngozi remained humble. Far away in the big city of Lagos lived a young man named Chinedu Okafor. He was from Umuokpara village but had moved to the city many years ago to study and work. Chinedu had become successful. He worked in a big company and earned good money. In the city, he wore fine clothes, drove a car, and lived in a comfortable apartment. However, despite the city life, his parents always reminded him of one thing: "Do not forget your roots," his father, Pa Okafor, would always say. One year, during the Christmas season, Chinedu returned to Umuokpara after many years away. The village was lively with celebrations, masquerades, and music. Children ran around happily while women prepared different delicacies. One afternoon, while walking along the narrow village path, Chinedu saw a young woman carrying a large basket of cassava on her head. She walked gracefully, greeting elders respectfully as she passed. "Ndewo, Mama," she greeted an elderly woman. "No, Wami," the woman replied warmly. Chinedu stopped and watched her for a moment. There was something about her simplicity and confidence that caught his attention. He turned to his cousin Emeka Obi, who was walking beside him. "Who is that girl?" Chinedu asked. Emeka smiled. "Ah, that is Ngozi Nwafo. Everyone in this village knows her." Chinedu continued watching her as she disappeared down the road. Something in his heart stirred. A few days later, Chinedu and Emeka visited the village stream together. Women were gathered there washing clothes and fetching water. Among them was Ngozi. As she bent to fill her clay pot with water, Chinedu recognized her immediately. Emeka called out, "Ngozi!" She turned and smiled politely. "Ndewo, Emeka." Emeka gestured toward Chinedu. "This is my cousin, Chinedu Okafor. He just returned from Lagos." Ngozi nodded respectfully. "No." Chinedu suddenly felt shy, something that rarely happened to him. "I have heard a lot about you," he said. Ngozi laughed softly. "I hope they told you good things." "They told me you are the most hard-working woman in Umuokpara." She shook her head modestly. "I am just doing what every daughter of this village should do." Chinedu admired her humility. From that day, he began to find reasons to visit places where Ngozi might be. Sometimes at the stream, sometimes on the farm paths, sometimes in the village market. Within weeks, their friendship grew. Ngozi discovered that Chinedu was not proud despite living in the city. He spoke kindly to everyone and respected village traditions. Chinedu, on the other hand, admired Ngozi's wisdom and simplicity. One evening, under the big udala tree near Ngozi's compound, Chinedu finally spoke his heart. "Ngozi," he said gently, "yes, I have met many women in the city. Beautiful women, educated women, but none of them have the peace I see in you." Ngozi looked down shyly.
"I would like to marry you."
"I am just a village girl." Chinedu shook his head. "No, you are something special." He took a deep breath. "I want you to be my wife." Ngozi was silent for a long moment. Her heart was beating fast. Finally, she spoke softly. "If my parents agree, I will accept." Chinedu smiled widely. Soon, Chinedu visited Ngozi's family with his relatives.
We have come to marry your daughter,
sat in the
Ngozi.
compound while kola nuts were broken according to tradition. After long discussions and laughter, the marriage was approved. The whole village celebrated the traditional wedding of Ngozi Nwafo and Chinedu Okafo. Women danced joyfully. Drums echoed through the air. Ngozi wore a beautiful George wrapper and coral beads, while Chinedu wore traditional attire. Everyone admired the couple. But some villagers whispered quietly, "Will this city man truly respect a village wife?" After the wedding, Ngozi moved with Chinedu to Lagos. Everything in the city was new to her. Tall buildings, busy roads, noisy markets. At first, she felt overwhelmed, but Ngozi was determined to learn. She learned how to cook different foods, speak better English, and understand city life. Chinedu supported her patiently. "You will get used to it," he encouraged. But not everyone welcomed Ngozi warmly. Chinedu had friends who mocked him secretly. One of them said, "Ifeanyi Maduka,
look at you.
Chinedu, with
How
all the
can you go to
educated
the
women
village
in
and
Lagos,
bring
you
this
chose
local
a
woman?"
village wife?" Chinedu replied calmly, "Yes, because she has a good heart." They laughed, but Chinedu ignored them. One day, Chinedu traveled for work and was away for several weeks. During that time, some of his friends visited the house. They expected to see an uneducated village woman. Instead, they found Ngozi organized, respectful, and intelligent. She welcomed them politely. "Please, sit. Let me bring food." She served them delicious meals and spoke with confidence. Gradually, their attitude began to change. One of them whispered to another, "She is not what we expected." Months later, Chinedu faced a serious problem at work. His company was collapsing and he lost his job. He came home one evening looking worried. Ngozi noticed immediately. "What is wrong?" Chinedu sighed heavily. "I lost my job today." Ngozi sat quietly beside him. Then she said something he would never forget. "We will survive. A home is not built by money alone." The next morning, Ngozi started a small food business from home. She cooked delicious meals and sold them to workers nearby. Her cooking quickly became popular. Soon, the business grew. Within a year, the small kitchen business became a thriving restaurant. Chinedu watched with admiration. "My village wife saved us," he often said proudly. Years later, Ngozi and Chinedu became successful. Their restaurant expanded into several locations. People traveled far to eat Ngozi's famous dishes. But despite the success, Ngozi never changed. She remained humble. Every year, she returned to Umuokpara to help villagers. She helped build a new school. She helped repair the village health center. She supported widows and struggling families. One day, during a village meeting, the oldest elder, Pa Okechukwu, stood up and spoke. "This daughter of our land has brought honor to Umuokpara." The villagers applauded loudly. One evening, as the sun set behind the palm trees, Ngozi and Chinedu sat together in their village compound. Children played around them while the evening breeze blew softly. Chinedu held Ngozi's hand. "You know something?" he said. "What?" "When people laughed at me for marrying a village wife, they did not understand what I saw." Ngozi smiled. "And what did you see?" "I saw a woman with strength, wisdom, and love." Ngozi leaned gently on his shoulder. "I am still the same village girl." Chinedu laughed. "Yes, but you are also the greatest blessing of my life." True value is not found in wealth, education, or city life. Sometimes the greatest wisdom, strength, and love come from the simplest people. And as the elders of Umuokpara would say, a good wife is more precious than gold. The end. Share your thoughts on this story and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more interesting African stories.